Hi GQ, Bryan Cranston here. Today I'm going undercover on the internet. Yes, it is actually me. How did Bryan Cranston come up with Walter White's voice from Breaking Bad series? I opened my mouth and started speaking. What I did is I patterned Walter White after my father, who was 30 years older than me. I felt that Walter White was older than his actual years, the way he carried himself, the way he was burdened by society. He felt like a much older man than he really was. So I thought, I think if I just take on the characteristics of my father, more rounded shoulders for an older man, a deeper voice, that'll do it. That'll convey what I'm hoping to convey. And then when he transitions into becoming Heisenberg, his shoulders go back, his voice goes stronger, and becomes more formidable to his enemies. I often get asked if I miss playing him, and I really don't. It's the feeling that you fully expressed yourself while the series was going on, and you spent it all while you were there. And I thought that Vince Gilligan wrote a beautiful beginning, middle, and end to that series. And so I didn't feel like I needed more. And then all of a sudden, he called me and said, we're doing this movie El Camino, which is the continuation of where the Jesse Pinkman character goes. I said, absolutely, I'll do whatever you want. So Walter White shows up in there. Then they do Better Call Saul, and we get a call for the last season. We'd love you to come in and do it. Okay, sure. Then I become Walter White again. Recently, we did a Popcorners commercial for the Super Bowl, and I'm playing Walter White again. So even though I don't miss him, I don't get a chance to miss him. He keeps coming back into my life. I think this character became so wonderfully and strangely iconic, surprising to me, that he's kind of separated himself from the rest of the things that I do. So I feel good about that. And it was one of the most important turns in my career to take on that role and to do that. It changed the trajectory of my career for sure. Is it true that Bryan Cranston majored in police science in college? It is true. However, that changed. My counselor said you need to take elective courses, so I took an acting class. First day, I got a scene that read, a couple is making out on a park bench. And I thought, oh my God, this is crazy. My job in that class was to kiss this pretty girl. And it just made my head spin. You look back on it and it's like kind of embarrassing, but the libido of a 19-year-old boy sort of reset my direction of where I wanted to go in my career. And at a certain point, I realized, okay, if I'm really gonna do this, I better learn how to get really good at it. And if I were to give a piece of advice to anyone who is thinking of entering into the arts as a career, I would say, make sure you're willing to make a lifelong commitment to that relationship. And if you're willing to do that, then you really should try. If you're not willing to say, I'm all in, then do it as a hobby. Well, that's it, GQ. I'm Bryan Cranston, and I'm signing off the internet. Thanks for watching.